Hurlamaboc. Cabedil ó uaiscéil Eilish ní Guimhne. So rugú Eilish é níidir chuig cethir fuair sí céim ag gláiste na hallscoile le bhaile clia agus tá lán dúisne litre búte eici. Okay, so mar dúirt me number the 1 ó hin, okay, is cabedil amháin é seo as uaiscéil, so ní oimmuid an scéal an iomlán. I rich an scéal seo foimid léargas an clán atá, okay, so clán ar bhanam na Albrights agus an saoil acu agus an cadrih atá atrathe chumá. So bhí sin I gargú kosher mar bhí sí féin agus Paul posted le fiche blian. Okay, so she was organising a party because herself and Paul were married for 20 years. Bhí gachtain sa teach cnú leis an gcóisir dar low. Okay, so everyone in the house was looking forward to the party according to them. Ach dúirtí the sin mar bawachlo mam a hásamh. Okay, so they always said that to make their mam happy. Okay, dúrchos lein just like anyone else. Ní raibh Rún ag súil leis an bartí doir. Okay, so Rún was not really looking forward to the party really. Bheadh crap dar leis. Okay, so it would be crap, he said. Ach bhí Lishin ag cnú go mór leis an gcóisir. Okay, but Lishin was very much looking forward to this party. Bheadh ferfa dar lei. Okay, so it would be perfect, she thinks. Bhí Lishin an sástal in the sale. Okay, so Lishin was very happy with her life. Bhí sí féin agus Paul silver inis. Okay, so herself and Paul were now wealthy. Bhí teach bracha. Okay, so they had a nice big house. Bhí Bert fáistí jazz acu cumá. Okay, so they also had 2 lovely children. Dar bhanam Coon agus bhí sesin 3 jeig agus bhí Rún 8 jeig. Okay, so both her sons were 13 and 18. Ach ní raibh amach Rún sásta. Okay, so her son Rún was unhappy. Cur Lishin lag vishinach okay, so she kind of controlled him. Volgier a chuirsi brew more fashion. Okay, so she praised him, but at the same time she also put a lot of pressure on him. Chuirsi brew more full chuma. Okay, so she also put a lot of pressure on her husband Paul. Bhí Lishin tíornúil agus ordnósach. So she was domineering or controlling. So if tíornúil and ordnósach is snobby or high maintenance, let's say. So nor woo Lishin le Paul vi she gober is shopper dús. Okay, so when Lishin met Paul, firstly he was working in a shop. Vi she bocht agus anonlach. Okay, so he was very poor. Ach cur Lishin brew mar vi sail ma hig tast away. But Lishin put a lot of pressure on him because she needed or wanted a good life. Inish far more lanta vian. Okay, so now he's a very driven man. Vi she in a lectures in old school, so he was a lecturer in college. Far gno a bhíán freisin, he was also a businessman. Bhí tithe agus orson agus scarna aige, so he had stocks, he had houses and apartments and all sorts. Níor dhéag sé a long cánach mar bhí sé glic faoi chórsaí airgid, so he didn't pay a lot of tax because he was clever with his money matters. So mar agimid an sin, tá sé a wadní silver ná bhí sé nar bhúil sé leihí ar dúspór, so he's a lot more or a lot wealthier now than he was when he first met her. Taréis stock markets agus rudí mar sin. Bhí Lishin díobh gacho don gcóisir. Okay, so Lishin was doing everything for the party. Dordí she glini agus fian sa shoppa fine. Okay, so she ordered glasses and wine in the wine shop. Kenny she lumbia freshen Pioge ishbini aron lovdiente agus rudí milche. So she bought all sorts of food like pie, sausages, homemade bread and sweet things. The choshes the gorgin nos a chach I brath or Hampshire. So the party would be in the garden or in the house depending on the weather. The bird of Kahiachad and Gorgin are fall on a horsena. So chairs and tables were available for the party from the neighbours. So on made the kleshogin and shin tasagin gulshi igiri agro on kosher or nomlan agus gulshi igiri kintu gul gachard furfa. Okay, so on the overall she's trying to make sure that everything is perfect for the party. So vi chach Lishin an war, her house was very big. The gachard to chach lan agus niet agus all in. So everything in the house was clean and perfect and lovely. Vi paint newer and a bali agus vi blahna gahot. So there was new paint on the walls and there was also flowers everywhere. Ban G intach by Lishin. Okay, so she was a incredible or brilliant housewife. Vi Lishin glán agus niet agus all in freshen. Okay, so she was also pretty much perfect like her house. Bhí iontas ar an úsal mac geann go raibh sí fiche bliain pósta, or poster of fiche bliain. That the teacher, okay, this Mr. Smith was surprised that she was married 20 years, okay, because she looked that unbelievable. Bhí she costal le Colleen óg dar leis. So she was like a young girl, he says. Dusha sin le Rún nar ghlach sé leis an gura. So he said that to Rún once he came over to accept his invitation. Agus bhín ceart aige, he was also right. Bhí leis sin fionn agus tanny agus tíach sí óg. So she was blonde, she was skinny, and she also had an appearance that she was quite young. Bhí beagnach gach móthir eile ar an móthir fionn freisin. So nearly every other mother on the road was blonde as well. Bhí na fir dubh no dun no lia, so the men had either black, brown or grey hair. Ach ní raibh móthir Emma ní Lynch's fionn. Okay, so the odd one out here was Emma ní Lynch's mother. There were massive glishing early, so she had no respect for her whatsoever. The intas are go where she chach or moher, so she was very surprised that she got a house on the road. The realcha socialta are asking the funshoga, so there was kind of social rules on this particular road on which they lived on. They are gach ban of a nieta fashion to gach nomid the gach law. So all the women on the road had to be very fashionable, well kept, or for any time that they lived on this road. The Moher Emma Jifrul. So we can see there that Emma's mother was very different. Okay, so second on Shin and Kui will she'd kinon or nosach. So we can see there how they're kind of high maintenance or quite snobby. Okay, or she like cachanus or calling show that they were abusing or taking the mick out of this particular mother. Never Rún comportable mock-down, so Rún was not comfortable with Mr. Smith. Bhí sé cordial agus grammar, so he was friendly and funny. Ach bhí súla muncher or ege, he had a teacher's eyes, okay? So bhí sé obda fécinn deach the chrí, he was able to look into your heart or into your soul. Níor hadn't sin le Rún, so he did not enjoy that or he didn't like that. And cuig ra sin an fécinn tír le an súla sin, the way that he could look into your soul with them eyes. Bhí saol gnóthach ag glishin, so she had a busy life. Ní raibh sí gobar mar bhí go leor airgid acu, so she was not working because they had lots of money. Ach bhí a long cábh amsir eici, but she had a lot of pastimes. Bhí sí in a long clubna leabhar, clubna thug ceabhar do gcuoine buchta, clubna starra, clubna gardín agus gach sort club eile. So she was into all sorts. So you had book clubs, clubs that help with charities, historical clubs, and also gardening clubs as well. So she was into everything. Hui lishin guji rangna changa freshen. So she also went to language classes. So narudi if you're shulaki Spanish, Russisch, Shinish, or Japonish. Okay, so we had Spanish, Russian, Chinese, and Japanese. Han skunan og drama lishin koma. So she also enjoyed dramas and films. Ban intak ba'i Maria. So she was supposedly a perfect woman. So Omlan foimid an legas an sin den size sail vi acu agus an cadrv vi idir negarters gafford. So we kind of get a description of the life they had, the notion of acu, the notions they had, ton an údar ag déanamh chuirsís or expocu as áit é mada clia suggest cat. Okay, so he's kind of taking the mick out of life in the south of the city during the Celtic Tiger, the Rechanamshin, so during that particular time. Agus the notion of Yaku and sale of Yaku, so the notions they had, the life they had. So foimid lergas intach scale show. We get a great description of that, or the satire. Okay, so an aeroim, which is the satire we see. So tradition scale show leiv tigamid gwil lishinigiri ve furfa. So after reading the story, we kind of get the idea that she wants to be perfect. Ach, ni albrin an seid shummer shin. Okay, but this life does not work like that. Ni feidir the gach with the furfa in English, so not everything can be perfect. So an evil vieki ox an clanux gafford cap gachman elegara she'd furfa. So everyone else thought that they were perfect and they let off this kind of perfect image, okay, and perfect evil. Ach, tigamid tradition scale show leiv. Okay, we understand if we're reading the story. Ni hey marshin tal gachord. Tigamid tradition is in a leiv gwil fiben acu costal gach clanel sa cheer show. So just like dollar ask in two for second one. So you see Eilis ní gwibne úrdar an uairskil Hurlamaboc, so she is the author of the story. Rugu I Imaide Clea Sivlin I Cuya Cahar, so she was born 1954. Sciún she scéalta in Merla agus an Gaeilge, so she writes stories in English and in Irish. Agus tá mór an grammar an búch eci mar scríbnar, so she has many awards won as a writer. Fulgiu Hurlamaboc Gob it's a Cuig. So the story was published in 2005. We should do bisto don uairskil Hurlamaboc, so we should gram don uairskil ag an reachtas ag Gob it's a So she won an award for the story by the name of the Bisto Award, and also she won an award at the reachtas na Gaeilge Gob it's a in 2006. Don tuairskil Hurlamaboc sitje in Mruch Valle Clea Rich and Tiger Rich Ray and Tiger Keltach. Tiger Kelty, the Roram. So it is situated in a suburb in Dublin during the Celtic Tiger. So Kagan Nearin on Schlucksher or Hale Lishness of Clan. So even though the story it seems to be directed at her and her family, the Fover and Urskil Bonhe or Hale Tur Jagory. Okay, so most of the story is actually based on the three teenagers, Rune, Cullum, and Emma. Okay, ach Niekmid on Maid, we do not see that part of the story. It's a Rune Priv character on scale, so Rune is actually the main person within the story. Okay, K nach Vekimid more on though. Okay, so even though we don't see much of him. So Modern and Thema, alright, so it's area and structure or Hale Dini server in my clear Lilin and Ray or Lilin Ray and Tiger Kelty. Okay, so it is a satirical piece about life of rich people in South Dublin during the Celtic Tiger. August and the things that they had, okay, so the valuable things that they owned. To Evo or Severus Antaltok, so image and wealth is very important to them. Okay, so she's in Soler on made jogging. So that is quite clear from what you've read from the story. Fechen Mara are asking the Funsugar, Mar and Gaina. So all the women on this street asking the Funsugar are directly the same. Okay, so they're very similar. And so on Miona Toku, August and Komatar, so their attitude and also their appearance. Toshi Gilair Fionn Agstani, so they're all blonde and skinny. Again, so Shoyan and Eva atá Furfa Dove. Okay, so this is their perfect image. Tantuder ig Eru Lishin Albright. Okay, so she Xboku Asti, okay, or Kahanu Sorry. So she is taking the mickey out of her, in other words. Tomagas Shin, okay, so there's also a mocking of their name. So she's Sunne, Sever, Uxgal Gorach and Tamar Fod. So she is happy and rich and happy-go-lucky all of the time. So Kamadashin Tashigmagafuin Mwe Golan Tokawana Lehi. Okay, so she's also making fun of the snobbery that is associated with her. Okay, so her value as a person. Tá lishin in the ball dagriacht a Karen and lishna Bogdan ach Jenshi Fain and Paul Earth gan Con Each are an arrogant in Eshtihe Oku. So on one side you have them being a member of groups to help with poor people, but on the other side needs to get Con Each, they're not paying their taxes on a certain amount of the money they're bringing in. So the Larian Tudor will Rudigan Edeven false bond the Sena Dinishin. Okay, so there's kind of a false shallowness, or there's an overall shallowness of what they're doing. Okay, so also that they do not understand the ordinary person. Okay, so it was Fekimid and made Shin who's on scale show. So on major top Fekogin, neither in Jassy Lishin or so Drochyan for Eki or Chilach. Okay, so from what we've seen, she's not a nice person and she's also a bad influence of her family. To Lishin Chirnul, okay, so she's domineering, she's very controlling. To Agla or Gachtin to Chilach Rumpy. Okay, so everyone in that family is afraid of her, so it seems. Niven Tishkanaki Kuma, she's also not a very understanding person. Nihigan she go will she her brew more or mock Rune. Okay, so she doesn't understand she's putting a lot of pressure on her son Rune. Nor spragging she at Maria. Okay, so when she supposedly motivates him or praises him. Her she brew or folds several stages want to mach o post of Eid. So she put a lot of pressure on Paul regarding wealth and status since they got married. Ach tá si sever agus status ordachu ach fós níle sin sása. So they're now wealthy and they have status, however, Lishin is not happy. Does she give back on Tussie or Gach than Ella Igoni? She always wants to get ahead. So does she go and get a furfa? So being Lishin sauced Nervine the Corsnet and Aid Leahy. So in other words, she's very happy when the neighbours or Gach and Ella to Chimbalari go to the Naid Leahy, that they are very much they want to be her, in other words, they're jealous of her. Ach, an Tavella, Kegawal long half answer Eki, because on the other side of things, even though she has a lot of pastimes, the sale full of Eki Kama, she also has a kind of very emptiness within her life. Okay, so Drok Kadriv, okay, Eki Lene Clan. Okay, so she also has a poor relationship with her family. Okay, so Shin Soler Rish on Shluch, and that is very clear from this piece. So now Thomas Glauert, if we Poland Shin, it's in a Kielwer Cliché agus Ermule, so it's Leifler Snalskole Koma. So he is clever, he is sensible, and he is driven. Tosher Sever Koma, okay, so he is also wealthy. Kennish Stock or Nigerlin, to Chiheger or Kies or Fodden Horpe, agus the Arget Ineste Ege on the Snachme Galore Connach Le Hiach Ege. So he bought stock on the internet. He also has apartments rented all around Europe, and there's also a bit of fiddling going on with the tax. Okay, so Nachwilche or Nielche Yuck really more on corner. Okay, he's not really paying much tax. So Nerwulche Lishin or Deucebore, if he should go home on Diffrul, Nira more nagad ege, if he should Og, if he should gone Ulvin really, Ogs Nira should go driven Shin Kama. Okay, so he was completely different. Ach Pisa in Pisa, okay, so Dashe the cow on a van killer. So bit by bit he kinda grew due to his wife, or the help from his wife. So Nish to say go home on Diffrul ege. To massive there, so everyone has respect for him or on him. The Chach Morage, so clan clish the Rahul Okukuma. Okay, so they now have a clever and good looking family. Oxlanyart Aragad Okukuma. They also have plenty of money. So a glance right listen gid Garter Ella to Runogin. Okay, so to Run Okni Jagdish, so he's 18. Durshen Rod Cart to Water, Durshe Gemech on kosher cool manager. So he said that the party would be cool. So to angra ega the water. Okay, so he has a lot of love for his mother. Ach crunchy stacher and kui a volun she a. Okay, so he does get bothered by the way that his mother praises him or treats him. So kui a kahan she lesh, the way that she treats him. Near hig shan fa. Okay, gur chur on moher lag mishnech. So he didn't really understand why his mother would do this to him. Runshan Doris could tapper earn Usul McGowan, so he closed the door quickly on Mr. McGowan. Vishin Mihuv noch ig kant less, so he was uncomfortable speaking to him. So concrete curle Runan Shin Nioimid really more on Shakas on Machin really on Cadre Thoga Lena War August on Cora Vega le Lishon Tusa Machgown, Shaka Shin a major thought effect login. So recent glance right, mar Dutch Mahana to air feature future listen scale show. So satire is completely interwoven with the story. Okay, so on Krieg or she Igjin of Kershis Nimra Ernst Raj August Gachtan Machine. So the way that she described the mothers on the street, grow Gachtan Amaran Gaina, so everyone was the exact same. Grugion or Hru August Tani, okay, that they all had blonde hair and that they were skinny. Oxen Shin and Kriegarashi ig Kahu News on Galina Avi Jifru, okay, the way that she was treating or describing the other woman then who was different. Okay, so Vishi Kinalin or Nosach and Kriegarashi Kahu News, so they were kind of snobby the way they were describing her, putting her down. Okay. So models and steel vi Eilishni Gwibna Agusod vi Killonin Ironte. Okay, so it was kind of ironic the style that she was using. Okay, Neil Mass or Biheki or Nadine Echoni and Raskin the Finchoga. So she has no respect whatsoever for people who actually live on the street. agus déanann si cinálín air an na nós na marachdála atá acu. Okay, so she's kind of making fun of the social rules and the real socialte atá acu agus na nós na atá acu cumá. Okay, so the just general notions that they had. So just gon críthe chuir le gafrad an seo, tréis gafrad atá léiteogin, tréis I suppose an léirgas ó image na character gafrad agus na hafta Harlíonn sa an scale. So after everything, the characters, the events that we've seen throughout the story, Tigamid go bhfuil gran le feicáil, Tigamid go bhfuil air on, okay, there's satire, humour, agus go bhfuil cinánín éireánta cumá. It's kind of ironic as well. And chuig gur si déanamh chuirsís gachtain is gafrad, right? So bhí si magu agus caithún nuas ar na daoine a bhí ina gcónaí i mála clí a rith an tír cealtaí. Okay, so she was making fun of or mocking the people who lived in South Dublin around this time. Agus sin an rudtá gceist leis an scéal ar numa, and that is basically what is to be seen throughout this whole story, or this piece that we get of the story. Agus sin main really. So an chuig gur si caithún nuas ar her. An chuí ar an léir ó image an a geartas gafrad agus na hachtú a háir leis.